Goldberg, 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 Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? But let's get straight into this video. Before I hit the Goldberg part, the segment or the video, first let's just talk about a beautiful day in professional wrestling. 9 hours of wrestling. Um, they finally, as they once said, the dust is settled. And man, watching 9 hours of professional wrestling was a lot, was draining, but it was worth it. And when you love something and you're so passionate about something, you become your own critique. You become the own fan that everybody sees. And you know what? I want to give a huge shout out to. I'm gonna give him a huge shout out, Tony Khan. I know he's look, I don't like the guy personally. He don't know me, I don't know him. But I give credit when credit is due. And Tony Khan, you did a great job with All In. You so give yourself a round of applause. When it comes to the professional wrestling, AEW, WWE last night, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And right now, you can make the argument that AEW is right now the better show. And it's crazy because um we've been critiquing AEW since their arrival, and with the way WWE is heading towards a product that's more brand based in entertainment, unfortunately, that's just where we are. But AEW All In was a very successful event, and I just want to get, like I said, Tony Khan, you deserve all the credit in the world for making this event believable, making this event unimaginable, very inspiring, and it finally ended the Death Rider storyline. One of the most painful storylines to watch every single week. Every week, there's a bullcrap storyline with the Death Rider. And I was looking at something, bro. 273 days that championship's been in a briefcase. That championship probably smelled like Senko garbage, hasn't been cleaned, properly shined. And you're telling me it's been in a briefcase for 273 days? That's a shame. But I will give John Moxley this credit. This storyline, this indie don't happen without him. And I get that the storyline itself was was a lot to be desired, but the way they executed from beginning to end was picture perfect. And my man, Adam Page, is the AEW World Champion. And you can make the argument he is probably the greatest AEW star of all time. You could. Now, where I make it, that's up for the IWC to make that case. But if you're talking about who is the greatest AEW wrestler, not professional, but just AEW, you could say Adam Page is because he has had two storylines that made us invested. Like, think about that. When he first won the World Heavyweight Champion from Kenny, at was it All Out 2023? I want to say, was it All Out 2023 or Revolution? It was one pay-per-view in 2023. He had us on our edge for that. And then 2 years later, he had us on our edge again. This time taking down the Death Riders, and it was good seeing Brian Danielson coming back for the parade. Darby came back from Mount Everest, of course. It's just amazing, and I'm just excited to watch Dynamite on Wednesday. I've been watching Dynamite the past couple weeks because like it's been interesting, but I think with a new slate, a new fresh slate, a new cleanness to this to a storyline, a new era, like they said, it's amazing where we are. And AEW, they give themselves a lot of credit. And you know what? I just want to give a shout out to Adam Cole, who relinquished his title. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the way he came out yesterday, something just didn't feel right. And honestly, pray for the best for him because the way he was talking, it was like he didn't even know. So hopefully, like I said, I'm not going to speculate what it is. Per se, but if I had to guess, if I had my 2 cents on it, I think it's pretty much like cancer issues or heart issues that he's dealing with at the moment. And that's unfortunate because he was on a roll with that TNT title. I think he was going to put on a banger with Kyle Fletcher, and Kyle was going to get his defining moment. But like they said in show business, it must go on. So, like he knew it must go on. They did that fatal 4-way match. Do I believe Dustin should have won the title? No. Um, because you was going to put the title on Kyle Fletcher anyway. If so, just put the title on Kyle Fletcher. But I like the unpredictability in that. But yeah, honestly, I don't know how to feel about that. Unfortunately. That's where Osprey Young Bucks match. My computer died on me, unfortunately, but I seen little highlights on the match on Twitter. Awesome match, 10 out of 10. So the show, they get 8.5 out of 10. They definitely get 8.5 out of 10. I'm beyond. They definitely get 8.5 out of 10. Um, so I definitely give AEW a lot of credit. Now let's go to WWE. So um, I'm gonna focus more on what happened, let's say the last hour of the show, but just to break down everything, Randy Orton RKO's Drew, and unfortunately Drew Claymore's Jelly Roll, and now they said a tag team match. You know how I'm not even about to get that started, but tag team match is set up at SummerSlam with Jelly Roll and them against Randy versus Drew and Logan Paul, no reason. Um Jimmy and Soul was low key a good match. It was a fine match for what it was. Jimmy pulled out that arsenal again. You did make Soul look better because he's been getting pinned 2 straight weeks, and now he needed a cheating to, so it didn't really help him. Excuse me, right quick, I'm drinking my libations. There you go. Now, let's get to what everybody wants to talk about. Oh, let's go to the main event, and then we'll get to what everybody wants to talk about, which is the Seth Rollins injury. Um, the match lasted longer than I expected, but the overall match was solid for what it was. Goldberg, no fight, and you know what? For the legend that is Goldberg, we're gonna pay our respects to him. Goldberg, Goldberg, Goldberg. You know what I'm saying. Let's talk about it. But Goldberg, he's a legend in this business, and like it or not, he's a Hall of Famer. I know how I felt about him. I know when I put on IG, are you serious when he came back? But he came back for one more match, and that's all you can ask for is one more match because Ric Flair did it. So if Ric Flair can come back for one more match, then hey, Goldberg can come back for one more match. So he got his one more match in his hometown, Atlanta. Got a standing ovation. NBC, you know you dead wrong for what you did. How you gonna cut the man's retirement speech? First of all, how you gonna go to commercial, knew he was gonna say something, and then messed up, had 60 seconds left to do it, and then he still didn't finish. NBC, you messed up. But WWE messed up too, because they didn't plan for this way. And that's why they got stopped doing Saturday night main event. But I'm gonna say what my man shout out to my man Edward. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. X King Ed. He said this. Oh no, he somebody said this on Twitter and he reposted it. I I promise you, if they mess up John Cena's retirement, his final match like that, WWE, somebody's catching strays in that company. I don't know who, but somebody might be catching strays because you cannot do that with your best superstar. I'm sorry. You cannot do that with your greatest superstar. Don't do that with Cena. Please don't do that. I am begging WWE. You better talk with NBC and get that situated. That's my little advice. Now for the next 2 minutes, let's talk about I think the big story that's coming out, and that kind of Seth Rollins did a move, um, bringing back the architect a little bit of him. He did a springboard swanton, then pop up, and then did a moonsault. LA Knight rolls out as probably part of the match, and then boom, he just twisted his knee. And on Twitter, I saw, if you really saw what happened, he kind of, if you think about it, he kind of landed, when he did the swanton, he didn't really land the swanton perfectly or execute it right. He kind of twisted his leg, and then him doing that moonsault was probably the final nail. So it sucks because everything was revolving around Seth Rollins, the return of Roman, finishing up the rivalry with Punk, Penta being the main event scene, LA Knight potentially being the main event scene. Sammy was potentially going to get elevated. Even his own faction, Braun's getting potentially elevated. Bronson's getting potentially elevated. So this is the best case scenario. The best case scenario is him being out 6 to 8 weeks. The worst case is what everybody's thinking. He's going to be out at least a year. And that's not good considering Seth has already had injuries on that same knee before. So it doesn't help that he got hurt on that same knee that put him out last year. Yes, last year. So and I'm like, my heart breaks for Seth and, just speedy recovery for him. And we're going to pray and hope it's nothing too worrisome. But unfortunately, like everything just gets altered now because Roman was supposed to return. I feel like Roman was supposed to return last night. I feel like, um, yeah. I mean, everybody seen the reports. I don't have to say what the reports was, but yeah, it just sucks for Seth because the man been the workhorse. They finally put him in a prime position to shine, and then unfortunately, he just gets hurt on some freak accident, and yeah, it's like, ooh. But yeah, I mean, I don't even want to talk about it no more because it hurts. But to sum everything up, it is a great day to be a professional wrestling fan if you're not one. And it's a great day to get back into professional wrestling if you ever feel like it. And if not, that's fine. I don't judge nobody that don't like wrestling. Now, forever. I don't judge nobody. All I'm saying is, considering what we had last night, we had peak entertainment from each company, and they put on a show for us to remember and put on moments, good or bad, that we can remember. And at tonight's evolution, if y'all want me to drop a evolutions not react, I'm sorry, not preview because I already did my preview. If y'all want to drop an evolution, if you want me to drop an evolution uh reaction video, let me know in the comments and I will do that. And then yeah, we'll go from there. But thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. See y'all later. Goodbye. I'm exhausted. Good night.